Welcome to the 2017-2018 NBA preview. My name is Josh, your enviers. Today we are covering the 23rd ranked team on the preview, the Dallas Mavericks. Huge inspiration from Grantland. I based this series off of that. This video series is covering all 30 NBA teams in 30 days, ranking them based on record. So this isn't about who's going to win a championship. This is solely based off of win-loss record. And last season, the Dallas Mavericks only won 33 games. I could see them tying that, but not surpassing 33 games. I feel like teams like the Memphis Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Jazz have better chances of making the playoffs than this Dallas Mavericks team. And usually I have the Mavericks pretty high simply for Dirk Nowitzki and Rick Carlisle. But I think since this may be Dirk's final season in the NBA, it might be time to, start rebuilding. And I think, unfortunately for Dirk, this is the year where they're going to start rebuilding because it just doesn't look like it's going to work on paper. Rick Carlisle, in my opinion, is a top 5 coach in the NBA right now, and Dirk Nowitzki is a top 5 power forward of all time. Very underrated, underappreciated power forward, if I do say so myself as well. So it sucks that this is the way that he may be going out, but on the positives, they got Dennis Smith Jr. I don't know what else is positive to say, really. So let's take a look at the offseason moves made by this Dallas Mavericks team to try to help Dirk reach the playoffs for the last time.
So this is what the Mavericks got in the offseason. Yeah, pretty much nothing. They didn't do anything. The one big thing that couldn't change this Mavericks projected wins, in my opinion, is Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel is still a free agent. He's a restricted free agent, and he wants a max contract. This point, this late in the offseason, no one's going to offer him a max contract, or they shouldn't offer Nerlens Noel a max contract. What I do feel like the Mavericks will do, if they're not able to sign Nerlens Noel, they'll go after like a different center, because they definitely need a center to pair up with Dirk, and like a guy like Alex Len. I feel like Alex Len is a cheaper option than Nerlens Noel, most likely. So if some team offers Nerlens Noel money that the Mavericks just don't want to pay him, I feel like they would settle on Alex Len, and maybe Alex Len could, he could become something with the Mavericks, because he's been given some chances with the Suns, but he just hasn't proven himself to be that starting center, especially with them having Tyson Chandler for the Suns. Or maybe a sign and trade, because for some odd reason Alex Len and Nerlens Noel are still free agents. I guess the Suns and the Mavericks don't want to pay their big men, so we'll see what happens with Nerlens Noel, but as of right now, I have Nerlens Noel still on the roster. So when we take a look at the rotation, and we're going to take a look at that next, Nerlens Noel is their starting center. This team is only here because I assume Nerlens Noel is going to be back with the Mavericks. They'd be a few spots lower without Nerlens Noel, so fingers crossed he comes back, even though if he's probably not the future, at least he's a solid young player, and they could try to build him up to be somebody. So Dirk Nowitzki at power forward, Harrison Barnes, Wesley Matthews, and then Dennis Smith Jr. as the starting point guard. Looking at the bench, they got Dwight Powell, they got Josh McRoberts. He wasn't even worth mentioning, really, but he's the backup power forward. That's kind of sad. Finney Smith, Seth Curry, and Yogi Ferrell. They have a plethora of guards I don't even have listed here, such as JJ Barea and Devin Harris. So their guard rotation is kind of crazy. They have 4 very reliable guards. The Mavericks just like point guards, it seems like. So they're not trading JJ Barea. I don't think they're trading Devin Harris. They're probably going to retire with the Mavericks because, the Mavericks just, they have a loyalty thing, I guess. Some players don't have that, or some organizations don't have that either.
I like Harrison Barnes. He's a better player than Chandler Parsons. Wesley Matthews is nice. But these two guys I just mentioned are role players for contenders. They're that 4th or 3rd option, if that, for a championship team or a playoff contending team. And these guys are essentially the 2nd and 3rd. I mean, if you count Dirk as the 1st, that's not a good look. So my question for the Dallas Mavericks: do they rebuild this season, or do they wait for Dirk to retire to try to get that 1st overall draft pick? Obviously, I don't think the Dallas Mavericks will have the worst record in the NBA. I mean, 23rd, that's not that bad. They're like the 3rd worst team in the Western Conference. I just want to see Dirk succeed. I want to see him go out in the playoffs, but Unfortunately, that probably won't happen.
This team is looking very average, and in the Western Conference, where they got guys like Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and Paul Millsap now, it's not good to be an average team. Being average will probably get you the bottom of the Western Conference, and unfortunately, this might be the case for the Dallas Mavericks this year. The Mavericks are definitely in a weird position where Dirk keeps taking pay cuts, and they keep bringing in players that aren't really helping him. I mean, a few years ago, it was Chandler Parsons, Tyson Chandler. It just seems like they can't sign a big-name free agent that would help them. So ultimately, whether they like it or not, this Mavericks team is most likely going to be rebuilding this year. They'll try their absolute best to get as many wins, but they'll probably be at the bottom once again, because the bottom teams from last year got better. The Mavericks necessarily didn't get better. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't see them surpassing 33 wins. I feel like that's their cap. They'll probably win like 4 games less than that, maybe 31 if they're lucky. So we'll see if Harrison Barnes can lead this team and be the next man up after Dirk Nowitzki, and see if he's able to play more efficiently and help this Dallas Mavericks team that definitely needs it.
So with that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. It really helps my channel grow, and I appreciate it considering I work hard on these videos.
Before you go, check out some of these other videos on screen right now. They're videos prior of this episode of the NBA preview. The link is in the description for the playlist if in case you want to binge watch that, along with my Twitter at Enviers. Follow me there if you want to chat it up as well. Keep sharing the videos around and let's be great. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.